This is Wendy Henley with the Bedford Area Chamber Vibes, and we are here today to talk about everything small business. We have got the best guest, Stephanie Keener with Small Business Development Center, and she has worked with the SBDC since 2014. She's been the executive director since 2018, and she develops training programs and conferences for small businesses in our entire region, and she is an advisor. She often works with clients who are working to expand their markets and get started in government contracting or exporting and understands her customers. She also coaches one on one business plan developments and digital marketing. Very diverse. And we are excited to have her on the show today. She is in the Lynchburg region, and she's had the privilege of working throughout the Lynchburg region in organizations for entrepreneurs. And we're excited. Thank you so much for coming on. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hey, good morning, Wendy.
So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into what you're doing today.
um, well, that's a long, complicated story. So I started actually in higher education. I worked as I was an adjunct faculty member, and I directed the Center for Appalachian Studies at a small college in Western North Carolina called Lees McRae College. And after I left higher education, I went to work directing an art show for a small town chamber of commerce, actually, the Blowing Rock Chamber of Commerce. And I was there for a few years directing events and working one on one with artists and other small businesses. And that's sort of what started my path into working with entrepreneurs and small businesses. I love them. It's like something new every day.
Well, you are doing a phenomenal job, truly, and we are blessed to have you working for with their businesses and making sure that they have the services and the tools that they need to get where they're going, to really pave out their vision and their plan, their action plan to go along with that, and really to get them all of every single thing that they need. So thank you so much. And we certainly work with you at the Chamber of Commerce to help provide some of these programs. So we are looking forward to doing more of that too this year. So wonderful. And you guys have so much going on. I mean, you've got new additions to your staff. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so just a quick introduction to Small Business Development Center first. You know, the SBDC Lynchburg region is part of a network of 29 centers across Virginia. So the SBDC is actually headquartered at George Mason University and is a program of the United States Small Business Administration. But here in our region, we're co-located with the Lynchburg Regional Business Alliance, but we work across the region. And so if you call us up, you're, not just working with just me or one of our two new folks, you're working with that network from across the Commonwealth and really across the United States. But yeah, we have two new folks on board with us. Jordan Reeves, who is our finance and planning advisor. And we also have Joanza Hall, who is working with small businesses for branding and marketing help. You may already be familiar with Joanza's name because he is the owner of Blackwater Branding, which is a pretty well-known branding group in our community. Joanza has a ton of experience in that world. And so for our local businesses to get, one-on-one time with somebody who's really a branding expert is amazing. Jordan and Joanza both counsel businesses generally on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And you can, probably catch them at other times too if that doesn't work for you. Jordan is coming to us from a consulting background. He worked with all kinds of companies in automotive and in the furniture industry. And so both of them have great experience and can help our small businesses with getting that business plan off the ground, or just kind of, you're already in business, readjusting that some of those questions that you might have, like, is it time to rebrand? Or I am a little bit concerned about how my bottom line is showing up on these in these issues. And so either one of them can sit down with you and help you work through those issues.
Yeah, and it really is so wonderful to have branding gurus right here at your disposal and just making those appointments Tuesdays and Thursdays, one-on-ones.
Yep, absolutely.
So let's talk a little more about, what SBDC is. You described it a little bit and how far you reach. You've got two sides, and I think some people don't understand. Let's talk about the differences and what you can do in each side. Like as far as like the Start Smart program.
Yeah. So a lot of people think of the SBDC as sort of a startup space, and it certainly can be that. And we have a whole program focused on folks who are just thinking about or who are just starting their business, or maybe they've been in business less than a year or so. We have several training titles under the Start Smart banner. And every third Thursday of the month, we do a class called Start Smart, Get Your Business Up and Running. And that class is designed to answer the most basic questions about starting a business, like what's an LLC and why is a budget important and where do I go to get my business license, things like that. We also have four other titles under that banner. Things like Funding Toolbox, which is coming up soon. And that class is designed to really, again, answer the most basic questions. What do you mean by a line of credit? And do I really need a business plan when I go to apply for a loan? Or I don't really know what what does that mean, an SBA loan, right? So we talk about those kinds of things in that class so that you can feel confident when you're ready to apply for that loan or think about investment, that you have the right terms and understanding of what you're asking for. We also have Digital Toolbox, which is a basic marketing introduction, First Employee Toolbox, and another class called Budget and Taxes, which reviews some of those basic questions about taxes.
Yeah, and that's so advantageous right there because, I was just talking, I was in a master class the other day, and so many of the business owners, CEOs were talking about how taxes are just so foreign to them. And now everything's changing so
Hmm.
much dramatically within the last year. And so just to have that knowledge base and to have someone that they can call on, not just their CPA, but and their attorneys and whoever else they
Right.
need for these. But yeah, that's a great
Yeah, and sometimes,
program.
SBDC, I mean, one of the ways to really make use of the SBDC is even when you have an accountant or an attorney, sometimes we feel a little bit, we're not really even sure what questions to ask those professionals. And so you might want to not want to spend the time calling up your attorney and sort of working through that process of what even is the question that I'm trying to ask. And if we can help with that service, we're absolutely ready to help you get to the question that you're even asking.
Yes, and so that service alone is phenomenal. So also you have we can talk more about on the other side like the programs and resources for craft beverage and cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said earlier, the SBDC Lynchburg region is really a part of a network across the Commonwealth at the Virginia Small Business Development Center up at GMU. And they have some great programs and resources, some that are specifically targeted at craft beverage, which it's the craft beverage program. um, and we have an expert on the staff who can work specifically with wineries, breweries, kombucha makers, to help you understand the ins and outs of that program, from just getting started sort of in your garage brewery, to thinking about how do you get your beer bottled and where do you find labels and things like that. We also have a program that's targeted specifically at Virginia businesses who are ready to export. We have multiple experts at George Mason who can help you think through what countries you might want to target for export. How do you get specific loans for getting ready to export? And, Wendy, I don't think I've mentioned that all these services are free. Um,
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just
it's free and confidential.
people,
Hello.
right? If you don't know, this is the most important feature. It's free, and even the consulting and
Yep.
the
Yep.
tools, everything that you offer, the
One
training. That's
one-on-one counseling is always free. That includes the export program. We have a business right now who is ready to export into a German market with their product. The George Mason team has paired them up with a team of international business graduate students to help them explore and examine the German market for their product. And that's a free service. She is not paying one dime to have those students work with her for that export consumer research. Um, yeah, we're a great example of your tax dollars at work. We're funded through the SBA and your local governments, and make use of the service, right? I mean, that's what we're here for. Virginia SBDC also has some great training for cybersecurity. So again, as a great use of SBDC is to ask questions, the questions that you want to ask before you ask professionals. And using that cybersecurity program is a great space to do that. We're very confused about cybersecurity. And so you might
yes.
not know what to call up a company and say, hey, I'm ready to purchase your services. You might not know what services your business needs. And that can be really intimidating. So we want to help mitigate some of that confusion. Cybersecurity program can do that. We have another program at Virginia SBDC called the Innovation Commercialization Assistance Program. And that program pairs you up with a mentor, often in tech spaces or biotech. But, if you have a product that you need to launch, ICAP is a great program. Again, it is free. There's a cohort coming up in July and another one in September. So I encourage you to check that out as well.
Some wonderful programs. And then, of course, we know what keeps you going. You're certainly, you have a little bit of spare time, other than your sleep, I'm sure, not much. What keeps you going? What do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
Yeah, so I'm a big reader in my spare time. I often either have people see me in the grocery store and they talk to me and I'll walk away like I can't hear them. That's because I can't, because I have earbuds in my ear and I'm listening to
Yeah.
a book.
A podcast or a book,
A
right?
podcast,
There you
that's
go.
right. I'm listening to you, Wendy.
That's what we want to hear. Well, this is coming out, so you'll be able to listen to yourself and see what we're saying. But no, we're excited that you're doing so much, and everybody that's making a difference in their community certainly is inspiring, and you're one of those people. And we know that you have a passion to do what you do. And so, do you have a mentor, or what keeps your passion ignited for business development?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, we have so many incredible people in our region. So I have to, definitely talk about the folks who I'm on the regional economic development team with, right? Megan Lucas, Pam Bailey here in Bedford County, Marja Upshur in Lynchburg. I mean, these
Shout
just
outs.
absolutely, these are people who work for our region every single day that comes. And they may have Bedford County or Amherst County or Lynchburg by their name, but we know that our region it's a whole place, right? It's a place that we all work together to uplift and support entrepreneurs in our community. Um, you know, I think that when we have leaders in our area who are that strong, one of the best things that we can do is to continue to support them. And, and in some cases, that means that calling us out, right? If you're like, hey, Stephanie, here's something you can do better. I want to hear that criticism. And, I think we have a great team who does that here in our
Oh my
region.
goodness, yes. And some, like you said, inspiring leaders who are making a difference in their world right here in our region. And they just really speak volumes into other people's lives too. So I have to say, what books are you reading? You talked about reading. Let's talk about those.
I literally just started a book this morning called the Shades of Magic series, which
Shades
is
of Magic.
Shades of
Okay, I'm
Magic. Yes.
intrigued.
So it's about a traveler who can move between different Londons. So I'm very intrigued by this.
Okay. Yes, I love that. And it's fun to read about things that are maybe not necessarily of our world right now, but just fantasy. And,
Absolutely.
it gets us out of our mundane, I feel.
Yes, absolutely. I always recommend having a fiction and a nonfiction going at the same time. And so if I'm reading fiction, it's going to be something in space or in another world or.
Right. You have to. You got to have that balance because you've got these other books that you're reading that you're like, oh, leadership,
Yeah.
inspiration,
Yes,
and all of
yes.
this other stuff. But yes, I
Yeah.
think fantasy
Yeah.
nonfiction
I,
is
I
fabulous.
just had to reread Born to Lead, actually for a client who we were talking about Brene Brown and Born to Lead, and those are great. And she again so inspiring, right? But sometimes you just got to get out of this London that we're in and head to the other one.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Well, what's next for you and anything new coming up with SBDC?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up. I don't want to say right now, but
Okay. Okay.
we
We'll
are
have you back.
developing a specific program actually that's growing out of something that you and I developed together, which was the business game plan last
Oh, I
year.
love that.
When we finished that program, we had a cohort that really gelled together and are supporting each other in a small sort of peer-to-peer format. And
Okay.
so we're developing a sort of a second level around that. And there will probably be space open there. So
Great.
so we may be
We'll talk
inviting
more.
some new folks into the cohort. So that's cooking. We
Business
always
Game
have.
Plan 2.0.
Absolutely, absolutely. We always have the Start Smarts going on. Like I said, those are the initial one is the third Thursday of every month.
Third
Yep.
Thursdays.
Be sure and you know uh, sign up for a meeting with Jordan or Juanza. They are terrific. I can already see that we have folks who meet with them once and then meet with them again and again.
Because you're learning
Yes.
continually and
Yes.
they are developing, helping them to develop their ideas and bring them to fruition. So, so exciting. I'm excited. And listen, we'll do more with you guys coming up. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking more about SBDC. We'll look forward to seeing you very soon.
Thanks for having me.
And that's our sign.